let's get into this. So, I'm Faye Grace. That was a very weird intro. I don't know if I like how that is. I might refilm that. I don't really think I can. I already opened the soda. Alright, I'm Faye Grace. Last week I read The Family Plot by Megan Collins. And I really wanted to like this book. I've never read any of Megan Collins' work. This is the third novel she's written. And the other two seem to be a little bit more standard. True, just like a crime fiction novel. And this one is a crime fiction novel that tries to bring in the aspect of true crime criticism into the mix. So this book is about a family who lived on this island. They're kind of like the weirdos of the island. They live in this giant house, and their dad taught their sons how to hunt, and they were raised being taught about true crime families, and like, not true crime families, just true crime. So like their mom taught them about different murders happen, different things. I think they mentioned the Long Island serial killer, which I believe in the book isn't that far from where they live. The main character is named after the Black Dahlia, the actress who was murdered, and her twin brother is named after Lizzie Borden's father, Andy, or Andrew. I believe Lizzie Borden's father was Andrew, and then the boy is Andy. So the whole story starts off with Dahlia coming back home. Her dad's passed away, and her brother's been gone for like 10 years at this point, and it's all like they're talking about like what are they gonna do with their dad's body, and they're like, well, we'll bury it on the family plot, because they have this giant land that they own. We'll bury it in the family plot until we find a better spot for it or whatever. And they go to dig it up, and within the first chapter you find out that, oh no, it's actually her brother who's been missing for 10 years there. I'm not even kidding. When I say, I think it was page 16, I literally was like, or maybe it was even before that. I know by the end of the first chapter I guessed who the murderer was, and I was right. Which is not a great thing for a book. Like, there's certain books that it's, how do I explain this? It's okay if I guess who murdered them in the very beginning for me. I'm okay if I accidentally figure it out, because to me that is still part of the reading, and you still get to see how the character gets to find it out. It's still entertaining and enjoyable. But this book wasn't that for me. It was really not. It was hard because I found out it's so quick, and then it just felt like the character was dumb the entire time, and it felt like you should see who the person is that did this. But they didn't. They try to throw this one other character kind of like under the bus, and they literally at one point say it could have been this literally dying man. Like, this old guy who's literally dying. It might have been him. And it's like, no, it wasn't him. Otherwise, he would have had more prominence in the plot. But unfortunately, the family plot has very little plot. It's tries to make a commentary on true crime, because this family grew up obsessed with true crime. And it tries to make this whole commentary on the true crime community, and then feeling yourself wrapped up in true crime and how horrifying that is. But I don't think it does it well. There's a quote that actually made me buy the book, and it says, with her third novel, Megan Collins may have unlocked a new level of fictional discourse on the true crime industrial complex. An explanation of how flattering people into stories and churning them through the true crime mill creates lasting intergenerational damage. An exceedingly entertaining look at how the corrosive family bonds can be. And that's a New York Times book review. And I just feel like it didn't have that much commentary on the true crime community. I believe there's one line near the end, which kind of spoilers for this one line, but it's one line, where this one girl says, like, don't you realize how much this is, like, not helping me right now, to, like, a friend of hers who's also into true crime. And so it's not my favorite read. There's very little, it's I was gonna say there's not, like, good characters, but I do think the characters are interesting. It's a family of 4, Andy being one of the 4 who is now deceased, Dahlia, and then her other sister and other brother, and I don't remember their names. I believe it's Tate and I think Elijah. Oh, Charlie. It's Charlie. I don't know who Elijah is. I just saw that name a couple times. See, that's the thing. I read this maybe a week ago, and I already don't remember most of the characters' names. That's not a good sign. So, Tate and Elijah, both are interesting characters. Not Elijah. Oh my goodness. Tate and Charlie. Tate and Charlie are both interesting characters. Tate does this thing where she does dioramas of murder scenes, in order to bring more awareness to them, or at least that she's what she believes, and also to find closure within herself. So you'll find out why if you read the book. Charlie is interested in having a museum because everyone on the island thinks they're a bunch of freaks that are obsessed with true crime, and now one of them has been killed, so they wants to have a museum. That's his whole character. Also, he's an alcoholic, I think. I think it's not really discussed. It's just a thing that he deals with, and it's never really talked about, and it's kind of weird they threw that in there. I understand why after reading the book that's a character, but they could have gone into the details of that. I feel like they could have gone into... This book, to me, was just very much surface level. And just like... Oh, what was another book I read recently where I said the exact same thing? Maybe I didn't. I don't know if I did, now that I'm thinking about it. I just feel like this book could have gone a lot deeper with all of the stuff that it went over. I feel like it could have gone deeper into the alcoholism that Charlie's suffering with. I feel like it could have gone deeper into how being part of the true crime community could possibly be damaging. There's always that discussion of, is true crime community, which as somebody who likes true crime, I also am aware, does true crime bring more awareness to stuff, or does it actually cause harm to the families involved in the crimes? Like, the victims' families. Not the murderers' families. I'm sure they are also harmed by true crime, but I don't know. Yeah, they don't deserve to be harmed either. Never mind, I don't know what I'm saying. But it didn't really have that, and it felt pretty surface level. And it was just rough. It once again felt like I was reading like a second or third draft. I feel that way with a book I'm actually currently reading right now, which the book I'm reading right now is a fairly popular book on Book Talk and Bookstagram, and I think BookTube as well. I don't know, it might not be as popular on BookTube, but it's also one that I feel like I'm reading a second or third draft, and I'm afraid to say what it is just because I'm afraid people would be mad about it, but I will have a review on that one just because I think I want to explain my thoughts more. Anyway, I rated this 2 stars. It's not like I don't believe I have. I'm open on both Storygraph and Goodreads right now. This is I love that that's a thing I do now. Yeah, for me, I've only ever rated... Now, this is on Goodreads. I haven't rated all the books I've read on Goodreads. I have, 135, and I've only rated, so many of them. There's, I think 50 at least that I haven't rated that are just on my read list. But I've only ever rated a couple other books 2 stars, and one of those is Crossed, which I've talked about extensively on this channel, I feel like, at this point, and also The Sun is also a star. And I think the issue I also had with Sun is also a star is that I felt like it was a very surface level book. As cool as it is to hear the story of a biracial couple dating and just knowing each other for one day and falling in love in one day, it's a cool story, but it doesn't go deep. And I feel like that this book had suffered from the similar stuff. It didn't go as deep as it could have. And honestly, I only would recommend this if you've read basically any other crime novel and are really bored, or you're very into the true crime community and you're wanting to hear some surface level thoughts about how this would affect people. I still felt the characters were kind of strong. I felt the world that was built, it's kind of our world, so it was believable that certain people would act certain ways, but also I felt like some people are just being dumb and weird and annoying, and I don't feel like they have any necessary, they don't have any motivation. There were a couple characters that I had no clue what their motivation was. One of Dahlia's friends, her only friend, I think her name is Greta. Oh, her name's Greta. Greta has no motivation the entire book. I don't know why she does the thing she does. And so, I don't know. This book, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. It could say a lot worse things. So for that reason, I did give it a 2 stars. I just felt like it could have gone deeper. And honestly, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna hopefully be able to edit this and maybe upload this by the end of tonight, maybe. I don't know. If this video comes out on May 26th, I did a video in a day, which is always a fun thing to do, but I do have a live stream I'm watching later, so who knows. Got like 3 hours. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that boost me in the YouTube algorithm. Woo! And if you've read this book, tell me your thoughts below. I'm always free and open to DMs on Instagram. You can follow me on Goodreads and Storygraph, which I am now both on both of those. I totally just hit my camera. And yeah, bye. Bye.